Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bookmint, the place where we turn the pages of the world's best books into actionable wisdom for your life. I am your host, and I am thrilled you are here today. Let me ask you a question. When you think about money, what is the first emotion that hits you? Is it excitement? Is it freedom? Or, be honest with me, is it anxiety? Is it a tightening in your chest? For millions of people, money is the number one source of stress. We worry about making it, we worry about keeping it, and we worry about spending it. But what if I told you that the very act of worrying is what is keeping you from becoming wealthy? What if the stress you feel is actually a wall blocking the flow of abundance? Today, we are starting a brand new series on a book that completely changed the way people think about wealth psychology. It is called Don't Worry, Make Money by the legendary Richard Carlson. You might know Richard Carlson from his mega bestseller, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Well, in this book, he applies that same peaceful, Zen-like philosophy to the brutal world of finance. This isn't a book about stock charts or accounting. It is a book about your mind. It contains 100 strategies to help you stop sweating the money stuff so you can actually start making money. We have broken this massive guide down into 3 parts. This is part 1. Today, we are going to explore why your mood affects your bank account, the power of the back burner, and why you need to stop checking the price of stocks every 5 minutes. If you are ready to lower your stress and raise your income, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Bookmint, and hit the notification bell. You do not want to miss a single lesson from this series. Let's dive in. The core philosophy: peace equals profit. The book begins with a radical idea: panic kills profit. Richard Carlson argues that most of us believe we need to be stressed to be successful. We think that if we aren't worrying, we aren't working hard enough. We wear our stress like a badge of honor. But Carlson says this is a lie. When you are stressed, your brain enters fight or flight mode. Your vision narrows, your creativity shuts down. You make decisions based on fear, not opportunity. And in the world of money, fear is the most expensive emotion you can have. So the first major lesson of the book is this: you must learn to be comfortable with not knowing. In business and investing, there is always uncertainty. Will the market crash? Will the client say yes? Will the product sell? Most people drive themselves crazy trying to predict the future. They spend hours worrying about what if. Carlson suggests a strategy called learn to be comfortable with not knowing. He says that the most successful people are those who can tolerate ambiguity. They know that they cannot control everything. Instead of wasting energy on predicting the unpredictable, they save that energy for solving problems as they arise. Think about it. How much energy did you waste last week worrying about things that never happened? Imagine if you took that energy and put it into a new project or learning a new skill. That is the don't worry, make money mindset. Strategy: don't sweat the fluctuations. Let's move to a very practical strategy that Carlson discusses early in the book. It's called Don't Sweat the Fluctuations. This is crucial for anyone who invests in stocks, crypto, or runs a business. Everything in the economy moves in cycles, up and down, bull market and bear market, good sales months and bad sales months. Carlson observes that poor people panic when things go down. They sell at the bottom because they are scared. They buy at the top because they have FOMO, or fear of missing out. Their emotions are tied to the daily graph. Rich people, however, understand that fluctuations are part of the game. They don't sweat the small dips. When the market goes down, they don't see danger, they see discount. Carlson writes, if you want to make money, you have to stay on the ride. Imagine you are on a roller coaster. If you try to jump off in the middle of a drop because you're scared, you will get hurt. But if you stay seated, the ride eventually goes back up. So the actionable advice here is stop checking your portfolio every hour. Stop looking at your sales numbers 5 times a day. It creates unnecessary noise in your head. Zoom out. Look at the long term. Strategy, the power of the back burner. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful concepts in the book. It is called using your back burner. We have all been there. You have a massive problem. Maybe you need to come up with a business idea, or you need to solve a debt crisis. You sit at your desk, you stare at the computer, and you force your brain to think. You stress, you strain, you get a headache, and you come up with nothing. Carlson says this is the worst way to solve a problem. He suggests using the back burner. In a kitchen, chefs keep pots simmering on the back burner of the stove while they focus on other things. The food is still cooking, but they aren't actively stirring it.
Your mind works the same way. When you have a tough money problem, feed the information to your brain, and then let it go. Go for a walk, play with your kids, read a fiction book, take a nap. Put the problem on the back burner of your subconscious mind. Carlson argues that our greatest insights, those million-dollar ideas, never come when we are stressed and forcing them. They come when we are in the shower, or driving, or relaxing. That is your subconscious delivering the answer. So, if you are stuck on a financial decision today, stop struggling. Put it on the back burner. Trust that your mind will cook up the answer while you relax. This isn't laziness. It is strategic thinking. Strategy. Don't make decisions when you are low. Following up on the idea of stress, there is a golden rule in this book that could save you thousands of dollars. Quote, never make financial decisions when your mood is low. Unquote. We all have mood swings. Some days we feel like we can conquer the world. Other days we feel pessimistic, tired, and defeated. Carlson warns that when your mood is low, your judgment is distorted. A small problem looks like a disaster. A good opportunity looks like a scam. A safe investment looks risky. If you make a decision when you are in a low mood, you will almost always operate out of fear. You might sell a good asset. You might fire a good employee. You might quit a project that was just about to succeed. The advice? When you feel low, do nothing. Just wait. Moods are like weather. They change. Wait for your mood to lift. When you are back in a high state of mind, feeling clear, optimistic, and calm, that is when you sign the contract. That is when you make the trade. This requires discipline. It requires you to say, I am not feeling right today, so I am closing the laptop. That small act of discipline can be the difference between bankruptcy and wealth. Strategy. The price versus the cost. Another brilliant chapter focuses on the difference between price and cost. Many people who worry about money are obsessed with saving money in the wrong ways. They buy the cheapest tools. They hire the cheapest employees. They skip the insurance to save the premium. Carlson argues that this is poverty thinking. He says, consider the cost, not just the price. For example, imagine you need a laptop for your business. Laptop A is $500, but it is slow and crashes often. Laptop B is $1,500, but it is fast and reliable. The price of laptop A is lower, but the cost includes your frustration, your lost time, your lost work when it crashes, and the fact that you'll need to replace it in a year. The cost of the cheap laptop is actually much higher than the expensive one. Wealthy people focus on value and long-term cost. Worriers focus on the immediate sticker price. To make money, you must be willing to invest in quality tools, quality advice, and quality people. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Stop worrying about the upfront price and start calculating the long-term value. Strategy: eliminate the "I'll be happy when" syndrome. This is a deep one. Carlson calls it the "I'll be happy when" trap. I'll be happy when I make my first million. I'll be happy when I pay off the house. I'll be happy when I get that promotion. Why is this dangerous for your finances? Because it puts your life on hold. It creates a state of constant dissatisfaction. And, paradoxically, when you are desperate and dissatisfied, you repel money. People like doing business with happy, confident, relaxed people. If you are constantly chasing the future, you seem desperate. Desperation smells bad in business. Carlson suggests a shift. Find happiness in the process. Enjoy the hustle. Enjoy the learning. Enjoy the small wins. When you are happy now, you have more energy, you're more charismatic, you attract better partners and better deals. Happiness is not the result of making money. Often making money is the result of being happy and engaged with your work. Strategy: be wary of the get-rich-quick mentality. In a book about making money, Carlson takes a strong stance against impatience. Worry usually comes from a lack of patience. We want it now, and because we want it now, we take stupid risks, we gamble, we fall for scams. Carlson advises us to extend our time horizon. If you are trying to get rich in 3 months, you will likely end up broke. If you're planning to get rich in 10 years, you will likely succeed. When you extend your timeline, the pressure drops. You don't have to hit a home run every day, you just need to hit singles, consistently. Relax, you have time. The power of compounding, both in money and in skills, needs time to work. Stop trying to force the harvest before the seeds have grown. Strategy: leave your work at work. This might sound counterintuitive for entrepreneurs, but Carlson emphasizes the importance of psychological boundaries. He advises, leave your work at the office or the workspace. If you carry your financial worries to the dinner table, into your bedroom, and into your weekends, you never recharge. You burn out. And a burned-out mind cannot see opportunities. By creating a boundary, you protect your peace. And as we established at the beginning, peace is the soil in which profit grows. When you are with your family, be with your family 100%. When you are at work, be at work 100%. This compartmentalization makes you more effective in both areas. Strategy: ask for what you want. A lot of financial worry comes from passivity. We hope for a raise. We hope the client pays us more. We hope for a discount. Carlson says, stop hoping and start asking. One of the simplest ways to make more money is simply to ask for it. Ask for the raise. Ask for the sale. Ask for the discount. Why don't we ask? Because we're afraid of rejection. We worry about hearing no. But Carlson reminds us, what's the worst that can happen? If they say no, you're in the exact same position you're in now. You haven't lost anything. But if they say yes, you have gained everything. The fear of rejection is a worry that costs you thousands of dollars every year. Overcome that small fear, and your income potential skyrockets. Reflection on Part 1. So, as we wrap up Part 1 of Don't Worry, Make Money, let's look at the picture we're painting. Richard Carlson is telling us that our internal state creates our external reality. If your internal state is a storm of anxiety, fear, and impatience, your financial reality will be chaotic. You will sell at the wrong times, you will burn out, and you will miss the subtle opportunities that life throws your way. But if you can cultivate an internal state of calm, patience, and trust, if you can use your back burner, ignore the daily fluctuations, and detach from the "I'll be happy when" trap, you become a magnet for success. You become clear-headed. And in the game of money, the clear-headed player always wins against the emotional player. We have covered the mindset. We have covered the foundation, but we are just getting started. In Part 2, we're going to get into even more specific strategies. We will talk about the surprising power of giving money away to get more, why you should hire people to do things you can do yourself, and the incredible concept of salary versus service. You do not want to miss the next episode. It gets more practical and even more challenging to our conventional way of thinking. Thank you for listening to Part 1 of Don't Worry, Make Money here on Bookmint. If this episode helped you take a deep breath and look at your finances differently, please give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe so you get notified the second Part 2 drops. I'm your host, signing off. Remember, don't sweat the small stuff, and don't worry, just make money. Welcome back to Bookmint. I am your host, and we are continuing our deep dive into the fascinating world of Richard Carlson's classic, Don't Worry, Make Money. If you are just joining us, stop right here, go back, and listen to Part 1. In the first episode, we talked about the psychological foundation of wealth, how to stop sweating the fluctuations, how to use your subconscious back burner, and why your mood is the most expensive thing you own. But today we are shifting gears. If Part 1 was about your internal world, Part 2 is about your interaction with the world. How do you deal with competitors? How do you handle employees? Should you do everything yourself to save money? And the most controversial question of all, can giving away money actually make you richer? Richard Carlson says yes. And in this episode, we are going to explore the strategies that separate the busy, stressed-out workers from the relaxed, wealthy entrepreneurs. So, grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's unlock the next level of financial wisdom. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Bookmint. It is the best investment you will make today, and it's free. Strategy: hire people to do things you can do yourself. Let's start with a strategy that makes most savers uncomfortable. Strategy number 16 in the book is hire people to do things you can do yourself. Wait a minute, isn't the whole point of saving money to do things yourself? If I can mow my own lawn, paint my own office, or file my own taxes, why should I pay someone else? Isn't that wasting money? Carlson says, absolutely not. In fact, doing everything yourself is a poverty trap. Here is the logic. You need to know your hourly value. Let's say in your primary skill, whether you are a consultant, a coder, or a salesperson, you can generate $100 per hour. Now let's say you spend 4 hours on a Saturday painting your office or cleaning your garage. You could hire someone to do that for $20 an hour. If you do it yourself, you think you saved $80, but in reality, you cost yourself the opportunity to earn or rest. You used up your finite energy on a low-value task. Carlson argues that wealthy people are masters of delegation. They don't delegate because they are lazy. They delegate because they are efficient. They know that their time is their most precious asset. If you are doing $15 an hour work, you will never earn a $500 an hour income. You are capping your own potential. So, the challenge for you is this. Look at your to-do list. What are you doing just to save a few bucks that is actually draining your energy and taking time away from your high-value work? Hire it out. Buy back your time. That time, if used correctly, will pay for the help 10 times over. Strategy: be a quitter. Next up is a concept that goes against everything we are taught in school. We are taught winners never quit and quitters never win. Richard Carlson says, be a quitter. Now, he doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. He means giving up on things that aren't working. In economics, there is a term called the sunk cost fallacy. It means we keep investing money or time into a project just because we've already invested so much. We think, well, I've already spent 2 years on this failing business, I can't stop now. Yes, you can, and often you should. Carlson writes that worry often comes from beating a dead horse.
We stress ourselves out trying to revive a project, a client relationship, or an investment that is clearly dead. This creates massive anxiety. A wealthy mindset is flexible. If something isn't working, cut your losses. Quit early. Quit often. By quitting the losers, you free up your resources to find the winners. Don't let your ego keep you trapped in a bad financial situation. There is no shame in saying, "This isn't working, I'm moving on." That is not failure. That is a strategic pivot. Strategy: the power of giving, the law of circulation. Now let's talk about the spiritual side of money again. One of the most powerful chapters in the book is about giving. Carlson suggests, give away some of your money. This sounds paradoxical. I want to make money, not lose it. But Carlson explains the psychology of scarcity versus abundance. When you hoard every penny, when you are afraid to tip the waiter, when you refuse to donate to charity, you're sending a signal to your brain, there is not enough. You are living in fear. And as we learned in Part 1, fear blocks creativity and opportunity. On the other hand, when you give freely, whether it's tithing 10% or just being generous with your friends, you are telling your subconscious, I have plenty. There is more where that came from. This is called the law of circulation. Money is like water. If it flows, it stays fresh and abundant. If you dam it up and stop the flow, it becomes stagnant. Carlson isn't promising magic. He isn't saying, if you give $1, $100 will fall from the sky. But he is saying that generous people tend to be more relaxed, more liked by others, and more open to opportunities. People love doing business with generous souls. Miserly people are stressful to be around. Try it. The next time you feel financially tight, give a little bit away. It breaks the grip of fear. It reminds you that you're in control, not the money. Strategy: cherish your competition. If you run a business or work in sales, you probably hate your competition. You worry about what they're doing, you stress when they launch a new product, you lose sleep wondering if they are stealing your customers. Carlson's advice is, cherish your competition. Why? Because without them, you would be lazy. Imagine a runner on a track. If he runs alone, he runs at a comfortable pace. But if you put a second runner right behind him, suddenly he runs faster than he ever thought possible. Your competition is not your enemy. They are your pace setter. They force you to innovate. They force you to improve your customer service. They force you to be sharper. Instead of worrying about them, thank them. Use their existence as fuel. When you stop fearing them and start respecting them, the anxiety disappears. You shift from defensive mode, protecting what you have, to growth mode, becoming better. Strategy: talk less, listen more. There's an old saying, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. Carlson applies this directly to making money. Strategy number 42 is talk less, listen more. Many people think that to be successful, they need to be the loudest person in the room. They need to pitch, persuade, and dominate the conversation. But Carlson argues that when you are talking, you are not learning. You are just repeating what you already know. When you listen, you are gathering intelligence. If you are a salesperson, listening to the client tells you exactly what they need and how to sell it to them. If you're a manager, listening to your employees tells you how to fix the problems in your company. If you are an investor, listening to the market tells you where the trends are going. Worry comes from not knowing. Listening gives you knowledge. Knowledge kills worry. So in your next meeting, try an experiment. Be the last one to speak. Ask questions. Let the other person empty their mind. You will be amazed at how much power you gain simply by being the best listener in the room.
Strategy: don't be attached to the outcome. This is a Zen concept applied to business negotiations. Don't be attached to the outcome. We worry because we are desperate for a specific result. I must get this job. I must close this deal. The stock must go up. This desperation creates tension, and people can smell tension. If you walk into a negotiation and you are terrified of losing the deal, the other person has all the leverage. They can lowball you, and you will accept it. However, if you walk in with the attitude, "I would like this to happen, but if it doesn't, I will be fine," you are powerful. You are relaxed. You can negotiate clearly. Carlson says that the person who is most willing to walk away has the most power. Practice detachment. Do your best work, present your best offer, and then let go. Trust that if this door closes, another one opens. This mindset removes the paralyzing fear of rejection. Strategy. Leave your stuff at home. We touched on this briefly in part 1, but let's go deeper. Strategy 58. Leave your personal problems at home. When you are at work or working on your wealth, you need focus. If you are trading stocks while worrying about your argument with your spouse, you will make a mistake. If you are pitching a client while worrying about your car repairs, you will not be present. Carlson suggests creating a mental airlock. Before you start your workday, take a minute to visualize leaving your personal worries in a basket at the door. You can pick them up when you get home, if you want to, but for the next 8 hours, you are free of them. This singular focus allows you to enter a flow state. In flow, work becomes effortless. You produce more in 2 hours of flow than in 8 hours of distracted worry. Strategy. Stop exaggerating your financial problems. We are all guilty of this. We tend to catastrophize. We miss one credit card payment, and we tell ourselves, "I'm going to go bankrupt." We lose one client, and we think, "My business is ruined." Carlson calls this dramatizing. We turn small bumps into giant mountains. The problem is your brain believes the drama. If you tell yourself it's a disaster, your body releases stress hormones as if it is a disaster. The strategy here is to get factual. When you face a money problem, write it down on paper. Look at the cold, hard facts. I owe $500. Okay, that is a fact. It is not, "I am ruined." It is just, "I owe $500. I lost a client." Fact. It is not, "Everyone hates my business." By stripping away the emotional exaggeration, you turn a crisis back into a problem. Problems have solutions. Crises have panic. Always choose the problem over the crisis. Strategy. Salary versus service. One of the most profound shifts in the book is moving from a salary mindset to a service mindset. Most people ask, "How can I get paid more?" Wealthy people ask, "How can I serve more?" Carlson explains that money is simply a byproduct of value. If you want more money, you must provide more value. If you are an employee, don't just do the bare minimum to get your paycheck. Ask yourself, "How can I make my boss's life easier? How can I help the company grow?" If you consistently over-deliver service, the money eventually follows. It might come as a raise, a promotion, or a better offer from a competitor who noticed your excellence. But if you focus only on the salary, you become resentful. You count the hours, you do the minimum, and you stay stuck. Shift your focus to service. Be the most helpful person in the room. It plays the long game, but it wins every time. Strategy. Make your business boring. Here is a fun one. Make your business boring. We see movies about Wall Street where everyone is screaming, phones are ringing, and it's pure chaos. We think that is what success looks like. Carlson says, no, that is what a heart attack looks like.
A good business should be boring. It should be predictable. It should have systems. If you are constantly putting out fires, you have a broken system. You shouldn't be the hero saving the day every Tuesday. Your goal is to organize your financial life so that it runs smoothly without constant drama. Automate your savings. Create standard operating procedures for your work. The more boring and routine the operations are, the more mental energy you have for creative growth. Excitement should come from your results, not from the chaos of your daily process. Strategy. Remember the golden rule. Finally, for part 2, let's touch on ethics. Strategy number 70. Remember the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Some people think you have to be a shark to make money. You have to cut corners, lie, and cheat. Carlson argues that this is the fastest way to lose money in the long run. Reputation is everything. If you screw someone over for a quick buck, that story travels. You lose future deals. You sleep poorly at night, increasing stress. But if you are known as fair, honest, and kind, people will go out of their way to bring you opportunities. Karma is a practical business strategy. Being good is good for business. It removes the worry of being caught and builds a fortress of trust around your wealth. Reflection on Part 2. We have covered a lot of ground in this episode. We learned to hire help so we can focus on high-value tasks. We learned to quit things that aren't working. We learned the power of giving, listening, and serving. And we learned that karma and kindness are actual financial assets. Notice a pattern. All of these strategies reduce friction. They reduce friction between you and other people and between you and your work. When friction goes down, speed goes up, and money loves speed. But we are not done yet. In the final part of this series, Part 3, we are going to look at the big picture. We will talk about retirement and why you should stop worrying about it, the concept of whistle while you work, and how to finally achieve financial freedom, not just in your bank account, but in your soul. You do not want to miss the conclusion of this series. Thank you so much for listening to Part 2 of Don't Worry, Make Money on Bookmint. If you found value in today's episode, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who are stressed about money and need this message. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join our community of learners. I am your host. Get ready for the grand finale in the next video. Until then, hire some help, give a little away, and keep making money without the worry.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the grand finale of our series on Bookmint. We have been on quite a journey, haven't we? We have been exploring the life-changing wisdom of Richard Carlson's Don't Worry, Make Money. In Part 1, we learned that panic kills profit and that we must master our internal moods. In Part 2, we learned the art of delegation, the power of giving, and why service beats salary every single time. But today we bring it all home. Today, we answer the biggest question of all. What is the point of being rich if you are miserable? In this final episode, we are going to destroy the myth of retirement. We are going to learn why you should whistle while you work. We will talk about the danger of taking yourself too seriously. And we will discover the one thing that is even more important than your bank account balance. If you are ready to not just make money, but to build a life of freedom and joy, this is the episode for you. Before we start, do me a quick favor. If you have enjoyed this series so far, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. It helps us keep Bookmint running and brings more wisdom to your feed. Now, let's open the book one last time. Strategy: whistle while you work. Let's begin with a simple yet profound strategy: whistle while you work. Now, Richard Carlson doesn't literally mean you have to whistle a tune, unless you want to. He is talking about your attitude toward the daily grind. Most people compartmentalize their lives. They think work is for suffering and the weekend is for living. They hate Mondays and live for Fridays. They trudge through their work with a heavy heart, viewing it as a necessary evil to pay the bills. Carlson argues that this attitude is a financial disaster. Why? Because it is impossible to be excellent at something you resent. If you hate your work, you will do the bare minimum. You will lack creativity, you will lack passion, and in the marketplace, money follows passion. Money follows excellence. The strategy here is to find the joy in the process. Even if you don't love your job right now, can you find joy in the act of doing it well? Can you find joy in the interaction with a colleague? Can you find joy in solving a small problem? When you approach work with a lightness of spirit, when you whistle, you enter a state of flow. You become magnetic. People want to work with you. Bosses want to promote you. Clients want to hire you. The universe tends to reward those who enjoy what they do. So, if you are miserable, you have two choices: change your job or change your attitude. But do not stay in a state of resentment. Resentment repels wealth. Strategy: stop procrastinating. Do it now. Strategy number 82 hits hard. Do it now. We talked about worry in part 1. Do you know what the biggest cause of worry is? It is an accumulation of unfinished tasks. Every time you say, "I'll do that later," you create a mental open loop. I need to call that client. Open loop. I need to pay that bill. Open loop. I need to fix the printer. Open loop. These open loops drain your mental battery. They sit in the back of your mind, whispering to you, creating a low-level hum of anxiety. Carlson says that wealthy people are people of action. They don't let things pile up. If a task takes less than 5 minutes, do it immediately. If you have a difficult phone call to make it first thing in the morning. By doing it now, you keep your mental workspace clean. A clean mind is a creative mind. When you aren't worrying about the 50 things you didn't do yesterday, you have the energy to spot the $1 million opportunity today. Procrastination is borrowing time from your future self, and usually you have to pay it back with heavy interest in the form of stress. Stop borrowing. Do it now. Strategy: don't delay your life. The retirement myth. This next section challenges the entire American dream and the dream of many other cultures. The traditional model is work hard for 40 years, save everything, be stressed, miss your kids' soccer games, and then, at age 65, retire and finally be happy. Carlson calls this the postponement of life. He asks, why wait? There is no guarantee you will be healthy at 65. There is no guarantee you will even be alive. And more importantly, if you spend 40 years training yourself to be a stressed-out workaholic, you won't magically become a relaxed, happy person the day you retire. You will just be a bored, stressed-out workaholic with no job. The strategy is to integrate mini-retirements and enjoyment into your life now. Don't wait until you have $1 million to take a walk in the park. Don't wait until you are the CEO to spend time with your family. Paradoxically, when you take time to enjoy life along the way, you often become more successful. You avoid burnout, you keep your perspective fresh. The goal isn't to cross a finish line called wealthy and then collapse. The goal is to build a life you don't need to escape from. Carlson advises, prepare for retirement, but live today. Save your money, yes. Invest, yes. But do not bankrupt your current happiness for a future that is not promised. Strategy: don't take yourself too seriously. If you look at the most successful billionaires, people like Warren Buffett or Richard Branson, you notice something. They laugh, they joke, they have fun. They don't take themselves too seriously. Strategy number 91 is don't take yourself too seriously. Ego is expensive. When you take yourself too seriously, you become rigid. You get offended easily. You refuse to admit mistakes. You refuse to ask for help because you want to look perfect. This rigidity blocks the flow of money. If you make a mistake, laugh at it, learn from it, and move on. If someone criticizes you, don't let it ruin your week. Carlson writes that when you can laugh at yourself, you become invincible. Stress can't stick to you. When you are lighthearted, you are flexible. And in an economy that changes every single day, flexibility is the key to survival. Be like a willow tree that bends in the wind, not an oak tree.
Strategy: create some quiet time. In our modern world, we are addicted to noise. Podcasts, news, social media, emails, Slack notifications. We are constantly consuming. Carlson argues that you cannot hear opportunity if it is too noisy. You need silence. Pascal, the famous philosopher, once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Wealth is created in the mind first. You need time to think. You need time to reflect on your strategy. Am I going in the right direction? Is this business deal actually good? What do I really want? These answers only come in the silence. Carlson suggests building quiet time into your daily routine. Maybe it's 20 minutes in the morning with coffee and no phone. Maybe it's a silent walk in the evening. Treat this silence as a business meeting with yourself. It is the most profitable meeting you will have all day. Strategy: be willing to walk away. We touched on detachment in part 2, but let's look at it from a negotiation standpoint. Be willing to walk away. This is the ultimate power move. If you need the deal, you will lose the deal or get a bad price. If you are willing to walk away, the other side will chase you. This applies to investments too. If you fall in love with a house or a stock, you will overpay. But if you look at it and say, the numbers work at this price, but if it goes higher, I'm out, you protect your wealth. This comes back to the central theme of the book. Don't worry. If you aren't worried about losing the deal, you win. Trust that there is always another deal. There is always another house. There is always another client. This abundance mindset prevents you from making desperate, expensive mistakes. Strategy: understand enough. Now we approach the philosophical core of the book. Strategy number 97. Make peace with imperfection. And related to that, define enough. Money is a game where the goalposts keep moving. You think, if I make $50,000, I'll be happy. You make it, and then you think, no, I need $100,000. Then, I need $1 million. If you do not define what enough looks like for you, you will run on a hamster wheel until you die. Richard Carlson wants you to be rich, but he wants you to be wealthy in the true sense. True wealth is having enough money to cover your needs and desires, plus the time and peace of mind to enjoy it. If you have $10 million, but you work 16 hours a day, have high blood pressure, and hate your life, you are not rich. You are a poor person with money.
Defining enough doesn't mean you stop earning. It means you stop worrying. It means you stop operating from a place of hunger and start operating from a place of satisfaction. Strategy, the power of reflection. As we near the end of the book, Carlson asks us to reflect on our relationship with money. He suggests keeping a gratitude journal. Yeah, you might say, gratitude is soft stuff. I want hard cash. But here is the science. You cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. It is physiologically impossible. If you are worrying about money, you are not grateful. If you are grateful for what you have, you cannot worry. By practicing gratitude, you hack your brain. You force it out of scarcity mode, worry, into abundance mode, creativity. Every day, write down 3 things you are grateful for regarding your finances. I am grateful I have a job. I am grateful I paid off that one credit card. I am grateful I have food in the fridge. This shifts your vibration. It calms your nervous system. And as we have learned throughout this entire series, a calm nervous system is the ultimate wealth-building tool. Conclusion: the 3 pillars. So let's summarize the entire system of Don't Worry, Make Money. It boils down to 3 pillars. Pillar 1, mindset. Stop sweating the small stuff. Stop checking the stock market every hour. Use your back burner to solve problems. Understand that your mood dictates your decisions, so never trade or negotiate when you are feeling low. Pillar 2, interaction. Hire people to help you. Buy back your time. Be generous. Give money to get money. Listen more than you talk. Serve others rather than just chasing a salary. And remember, karma is real in business. Pillar 3, lifestyle. Don't postpone your life for retirement. Find joy in your daily work. Whistle while you work. Do things now. Don't procrastinate. Don't take yourself too seriously. And finally, define what enough means to you so you can step off the hamster wheel. Conclusion: the 3 pillars. So let's summarize the entire system of Don't Worry, Make Money. It boils down to 3 pillars. Pillar 1, mindset. Stop sweating the small stuff. Stop checking the stock market every hour. Use your back burner to solve problems. Understand that your mood dictates your decisions, so never trade or negotiate when you are feeling low. Pillar 2, interaction. Hire people to help you. Buy back your time. Be generous. Give money to get money. Listen more than you talk. Serve others rather than just chasing a salary. And remember, karma is real in business. Pillar 3, lifestyle. Don't postpone your life for retirement. Find joy in your daily work. Whistle while you work. Do things now. Don't procrastinate. Don't take yourself too seriously. And finally, define what enough means to you so you can step off the hamster wheel. Final thoughts. Richard Carlson passed away in 2006, but his wisdom is more relevant today than ever. We live in a world that is designed to make us worry. The news sells fear. Marketers sell inadequacy. Social media sells envy. If you follow the crowd, you will be worried, stressed, and broke. To be wealthy, you must be a rebel. Rebel against the noise. Rebel against the panic. Choose peace, choose patience, choose trust. The title of the book is a promise. Don't worry, make money. The don't worry part is not just a nice suggestion. It is the prerequisite for the make money part. You have the tools now. You have the strategies. The only question left is, are you willing to let go of your worry? Are you willing to trust yourself? I hope this series has given you the permission to relax, to breathe, to realize that you don't need to destroy your health to build your bank account. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us here on Bookment. If you made it to the end of this series, you are part of the top 1% of people who are truly dedicated to their self-growth. I appreciate you. Please, if you found value in this, smash that like button. It tells YouTube that this content matters. Share this video with a friend who is stressed about their job. And most importantly, subscribe to Bookmint. We have so many more amazing books to cover, and I don't want you to miss a single one. Leave a comment below. Which strategy resonated with you the most? Is it whistle while you work? Is it using the back burner? Let me know. I read every comment. I am your host, reminding you one last time. Peace is power. Calm is currency. Don't worry. Just make money. See you in the next video.